Okay, listen up. Right after today's digital life hack, we've got a weekend call from the Kim Commando Show. You're going to love it. You're in your pajamas, ready for bed, but sleep just won't come. Here's a trick. Try listening to a podcast. I'm Kim Commando for Hear.com. Having hearing problems? Get a free hearing evaluation now at Hear.com/Kim. A survey by Sleep Junkie found that 55% of people who use podcasts to fall asleep doze off within 15 minutes. These podcasts work because they use soothing voices and also boring content that keeps your brain from getting engaged. Here are a few that people swear by. The I Can't Sleep podcast is hosted by Benjamin Boster. He reads boring Wikipedia articles in this deep, monotone voice. People say it's life-changing. Next one, Sleep Magic. A hypnotherapist uses breathing exercises and relaxation techniques to just help you drift off. But the most popular is Sleep With Me with Drew Ackerman. Drew tells really boring bedtime stories designed to distract your mind just enough to help you get to sleep. Sign up for my free newsletter right now at getkim.com. Yes, another brilliant call from my weekend show. You're going to love it. Here it is. Karen in Detroit, Michigan. Hi there, Karen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking my call. I was so excited 6 years ago when I stumbled upon your podcast. I have just learned so much.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
And you start your call off or your podcast off with everything is techno, and it really is. I can't tell you how many times what I've learned comes up in conversations with random people. Anyway, my question is regarding an e-reader.
Okay.
I love magazines, and we travel quite a bit, and I don't own a bunch of magazines anymore because they don't make them.
Yeah, right.
But I've learned I can download them from Libby. Mm-hmm. It's just when we're on vacation and we're outside, I get a glare from my phone or my computer. So I didn't know if there was an e-reader out there that had color without glare.
Yeah, it is hard to read on your iPad when you're sitting on a lounge chair and in the sun and having a drink with a little umbrella, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Total first world problem right there, okay?
Oh, absolutely, because then it eats your battery. Yeah.
I know. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And anytime you say color, people are going to point you into the direction of what? An iPad. Right.
Correct.
Or just go sit there with your phone. But as you mentioned, I mean, e-readers, they have this beautiful anti-glare screen. And so it's non-reflective. So if you're outside and you want to read, that you can actually do it. Color e-ink displays, relatively new, not as widely available yet. But as you mentioned, they're good for magazines, for comics, any content where you actually need some color. If you're looking at photographs, things of that nature, inside of a magazine. There is one product that checks a few boxes. It's called I don't know if you've heard it, if you check this out, it's called the Pocketbook Ink Pad. It's the Pocketbook. Remember what we used to call purses pocketbooks? My mother used to call it a pocketbook. Did your mother call it a pocketbook? Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Now it's like, what's a pocketbook? What is that? Okay. Pocketbook. Anyway, it's called the InkPad Color 3. It's about $300. It does use e-ink. The resolution is 150 PPIs. Well, let's compare that to a Kindle, okay? Kindle's 300, so it's double. But in order to get that color e-ink there, they have to lower the resolution. It's a 7.8-inch screen, but it is usable inside bright environments. And it will work with Libby. It supports PDFs and EPUBs and Mobis and good things like that. It works on Wi-Fi. It does not work on cellular. So that would be a difference that you would have with, say, for example, an iPad if you were someplace traveling and there wasn't Wi-Fi, which, it's pretty hard to find anywhere without Wi-Fi, right? I mean. Right.
And I think that I can download stuff.
Oh,
too.
Sure. Yeah, you'd be able to download it. So this way you could look at it offline and then you could sit there and read all your magazines. So let me ask you a question. What is the magazine that is your go-to magazine?
Oh, I've been doing Cooks Illustrated. It's a cooking magazine. I think America's Test Kitchen authors it, and it's full of kind of science behind cooking, and it recommends products and yeah.
Have you seen the Apple Plus show Lessons in Chemistry?
Yes, and I read the book too.
Oh, isn't that fabulous?
And it kind of reignited my passion
Is that right?
For the whole cooking, yes. And it is fascinating because the Cooks Illustrated really does go behind the science of the ingredients and that kind of thing. But yes, a very, very good book. The show is very good, too, to the book.
Which sometimes is not always the case. I'm going to have to check that out myself because I like to cook and like to try new things. And I've never really thought about lessons in chemistry. I never thought of that until I saw the show. And I was like, this makes perfect sense. The way that we're cooking and how the foods interact with each other is pretty phenomenal. Karen, thanks for your call and safe travels to you. And I appreciate your kind words. Hey, major thanks for giving me your listening time today. And if a tech question is just gnawing at you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with me. Hop on over to Komando.com and hit email Kim. I read every single note. Now, in a digital world, you need to stay up to date. That's why you need my free daily newsletter. You can sign up right now over at GetKim.com. That's GetKim.com.